The Pi network has long been one of the most talked about and widely followed cryptocurrency projects in the world, built around the vision of bringing crypto mining to everyday people through mobile devices. Founded by a team of Stanford graduates led by Dr. Nicholas Koklas and Dr. Chingduo Fan, Pi network began its journey back in 2018 with a simple but revolutionary idea: allow users to mine cryptocurrency directly from their smartphones without consuming high amounts of energy or requiring advanced hardware. This concept captured global attention because it promised accessibility and fairness, offering an opportunity for anyone with a mobile phone to participate in the blockchain revolution. Millions of users, known as pioneers, joined Pi network, forming one of the largest communities in crypto history. However, despite its rapid growth and massive user base, one question has dominated conversations for years: when will Pi finally launch as a real, tradable coin? That question has given rise to the term Pi network new coin release date, sparking debates, rumors, and waves of anticipation across the entire crypto community. To understand where Pi stands today, it's important to go through its roadmap and the different stages that define its journey. In its early phase, Pi network was operating under what is known as Phase I, the beta stage, where users mined Pi using their mobile apps while the network was still centralized and operating off-chain. This phase was primarily focused on user acquisition and building a global network of participants. The second stage, Phase II, the testnet phase, introduced nodes, technical experiments, and the early development of a consensus mechanism. This phase allowed developers and node operators to test the system's reliability and scalability. Then came Phase III, the mainnet phase, which is divided into two critical parts: the enclosed mainnet and the open network. In December 2021, the project officially entered the enclosed mainnet phase, meaning the Pi blockchain was live, but not yet fully connected to the external world. Users could migrate their mined Pi tokens to the mainnet, provided they passed the KYC Know Your Customer process. However, trading or transferring Pi outside of the network was restricted. This enclosed phase was designed to give the team time to build ecosystem apps, strengthen security, complete user verification, and ensure that the network could operate safely and efficiently before opening up to the public blockchain world. The difference between the enclosed network and the open network is significant. In the enclosed phase, all transactions and transfers are restricted within the Pi ecosystem: no external exchanges, no external wallets, and no fiat trading. The open network, however, would change everything. Once Pi transitions to the open network, users will finally be able to transfer, buy, sell, and trade Pi on external exchanges and through decentralized finance platforms. This phase will also bring true price discovery, as Pi's value will then be determined by open market forces of supply and demand rather than speculation. The open network will mark the official moment when Pi becomes a fully functioning cryptocurrency connected to the global blockchain ecosystem. That's what people mean when they talk about the new coin release the day Pi becomes freely tradable and accessible worldwide. Over the last year, Pi network has made steady progress toward that open network transition. One of the biggest updates came when several reliable crypto news outlets reported that Pi had officially exited its enclosed mainnet phase and entered the open network phase on February 20, 2025. This was a huge milestone for the project, as it symbolized the beginning of Pi's public blockchain journey. The core team also launched major infrastructure improvements, upgraded the consensus algorithm, and enhanced its decentralized KYC process to make it easier for millions of users to verify their identities. Fast-track KYC systems were introduced in mid-2025, allowing new users to join and migrate faster. Meanwhile, protocol upgrades such as the move from version 19 to version 23 focused on scalability, performance, and anti-fraud security. These updates were essential to prepare Pi for mass adoption once the open network becomes fully operational. Another notable update has been Pi's liquidity and token management system. The project reportedly allocated 1 billion Pi tokens to a liquidity pool wallet, designed to stabilize the token's value and prepare for exchange listings. The team has also rolled out a lockup mechanism, which allows users to lock their migrated Pi for specific periods to earn rewards, reduce market volatility, and prevent sudden large-scale sell-offs once trading becomes fully available. Additionally, the Pi core team has worked on integrating decentralized exchanges (DEX) and automated market makers (AMM) within the Pi ecosystem to support internal trading and swaps before official external listings. These steps indicate that the infrastructure for trading and market functionality is already being built behind the scenes. Despite these developments, Pi's price has been highly volatile. According to CoinGecko and other market trackers, Pi's values saw dramatic fluctuations throughout 2025. At one point, the coin traded around 2.99 before dropping sharply to approximately 0.22 in October 2025, a decline of more than 90%. Analysts believe that this decline was partly due to token unlocks, where previously locked tokens entered circulation, and partly because of speculative traders who sold early in anticipation of new releases. While this drop raised concerns, it also showed that PIS price is now influenced by real market forces, a sign that the network is indeed becoming more open and decentralized. Pi Network also continues to host major community events, such as Pitwa Day, celebrated every year on June 28. In 2025, Pitwa Day was accompanied by a 12% rally in PIS price, driven by community excitement and speculation about new announcements. These events have become symbolic for the network, often bringing updates, new partnerships, and app launches. Many within the community expect that future Pitwa Day celebrations might coincide with major upgrades or even the announcement of full global exchange listings. When it comes to predicting the exact coin release date, different timelines have been discussed. Some early reports suggested that Pi would open to the public as early as the first quarter of 2025, while others pointed toward mid-2025. However, more conservative analysts now believe the complete transition to a fully open network could take place between late 2025 and early 2026. This timeline accounts for technical scaling, regional regulations, liquidity readiness, and the onboarding of millions of verified users. PIS development team has emphasized that the launch is not about rushing but about ensuring long-term sustainability. The core team aims to build a network that is legally compliant, technically secure, and globally accessible, not just a quick token listing that fades after hype. Of course, several challenges could still delay or complicate the process. The first major challenge is KYC verification. With tens of millions of users globally, verifying each person's identity without centralizing control or excluding participants is a massive undertaking. Another challenge lies in regulatory compliance. Different countries have varying rules for cryptocurrencies, and opening Pi globally will require the project to meet international standards for anti-money laundering and consumer protection. Security and scalability are equally critical, as the network must be strong enough to handle millions of transactions per day without downtime or vulnerability. The Pi blockchain will also need to integrate seamlessly with wallets, dApps, and other blockchains, which requires extensive testing and audits. Beyond these technical and regulatory hurdles, there are also market and economic challenges. Since so many users have been mining Pi for free for several years, the potential supply of tokens is enormous. Once Pi becomes tradable, there's a risk that early holders could flood the market with sell orders, causing a sharp price drop. To prevent that, the lockup mechanism and gradual migration process are designed to control token circulation and stabilize supply. But investor psychology plays a big role too. If users believe in PIS long-term vision and hold their coins instead of selling, the price could remain resilient and even grow over time. On the other hand, if hype fades and holders rush to cash out, Pi might face severe downward pressure. Another important consideration is ecosystem utility. For Pi to succeed, it needs to offer real use cases beyond speculation. The core team has been encouraging developers to build decentralized applications, apps that operate within the Pi ecosystem, from online marketplaces and games to consent platforms and payment tools. The goal is to make Pi a functional currency that people can use in daily life, not just a digital asset for trading. Merchants accepting Pi payments, creators launching Pi-based services, and users engaging in the Pi economy will determine whether the coin gains genuine value and sustainability. Still, despite all these complexities, PIS global community remains one of its biggest strengths. Millions of pioneers around the world are actively promoting, developing, and testing Pi-based projects. This level of engagement gives Pi a unique advantage over many newer coins that struggle to build communities. As of 2025, Pi has one of the largest active user bases in the entire cryptocurrency space, a sign that, if managed correctly, its launch could lead to widespread adoption. Now, let's imagine what the open network, the so-called new coin release, will actually look like. Once fully open, Pi holders will be able to transfer their tokens to external wallets, connect with decentralized exchanges, and trade Pi for other cryptocurrencies or fiat currencies. Major exchanges like Binance, Coinbase, or KuCoin could potentially list Pi once it meets regulatory and liquidity standards. Market forces will then determine PIS price in real time, allowing for true transparency. This period will also bring governance opportunities, where the community might be able to vote on upgrades or policies, pushing Pi toward a more decentralized future. Developers will be able to integrate Pi payments into their platforms, while businesses could begin accepting Pi for goods and services. Such integrations could dramatically increase the coin's utility and drive real-world adoption. Forecasting into the future, analysts envisioned a phased timeline. By Q1 2025, Pi had already entered its early open phase. During Q2 and Q3 2025, the network focused on protocol upgrades, liquidity seeding, and ecosystem expansion. By June 2025, Pitwade brought announcements that boosted community optimism. Moving forward into late 2025 and early 2026, experts expect further exchange listings, bridge integrations, and possibly full cross-chain compatibility. If this trajectory continues, 2026 could mark the year Pi becomes a mainstream cryptocurrency used in daily transactions. However, this scenario depends on the team's ability to execute efficiently and maintain user trust. Despite optimism, investors should approach Pi with realism. The journey from vision to execution in blockchain projects is always challenging. Pi has taken a unique, step-by-step path instead of the traditional launch first, fix later approach seen in many crypto startups. While this cautious method builds credibility, it has also tested the patience of long-time users. Nevertheless, patience might pay off if Pi manages to transition successfully and sustain value in a volatile crypto landscape. It's essential for every participant to follow official Pi network updates only through verified channels, complete their KYC and migration steps, and avoid falling for unofficial exchanges or fraudulent tokens pretending to be Pi. In conclusion, the Pi network new coin release represents far more than a launch date. It's the culmination of years of community building, innovation, and preparation. The project has officially exited its enclosed phase, showing signs of entering full open operation. Technical upgrades, KYC completion, liquidity pools, and decentralized apps are paving the way for Pi to become a real, usable cryptocurrency. While its price has faced strong corrections, that's part of natural market evolution as Pi transitions from a closed system to an open economy. If the team delivers on its promises, Pi could become a defining example of mass adoption crypto, a network that began as a mobile mining experiment and grew into a global blockchain ecosystem. But until the open network is completely operational and the coin is freely tradable on major exchanges, users should stay patient, stay informed, and understand that in crypto, true success takes time, transparency, and trust. In short, Pi's new coin release date is not a single moment, but a progressive process already unfolding through 2025. The Pi core team's cautious approach indicates that stability and legal readiness are top priorities. Whether you're an early pioneer or a newcomer, the next few months will be crucial. Keep your eyes on official updates, watch how the market reacts, and remember every major crypto revolution started with patience and belief. The Pi network's open launch could be one of the most significant turning points in blockchain history, transforming millions of users' virtual coins into a new chapter of real-world digital currency.